Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our YouTube channel Paper World, where we are solving past paper questions of IGCSE chemistry. And we are currently solving P2 of one of the most dreaded topics of chemistry, that is the mole concept and the Avogadro's constant. Many students have an issue with this topic. And they find it very hard and they find it very difficult. That's why I'm calling it the most dreaded topic of chemistry. I thought that organic chemistry was one of the most difficult topics, but as I've grown up, so I've understood that many kids have problems solving the questions related to mole. So, inshallah, today we are going to be solving every question related to it. And I can assure you that if you stay with me, if you solve these questions with me and take out your time to understand these, I will explain each and every minor detail that is there to solve these questions. And if you spend this time with me and go through the whole video, so inshallah by the end of it, you won't be dreading the mole and the mole concept and Avogadro's constant anymore, and inshallah you will have a hang of it. Acha, to begin with this concept, you should be aware of three formulas. One of them is number of moles is equal to mass over mr. Where mr is the molecular mass. The other formula, this is for the elements or compounds that are solids. For the ones that are liquids or in gaseous states, we have the formula to find the number of moles to be volume over molar volume. And the value for molar volume is either 24 decimeter cubes or 24,000 centimeter cubes. Normally the volumes are required to be in decimeter cubes. But sometimes in the statement the volumes are given in centimeter cubes, so they have to be converted into decimeter cubes. And inshallah we will be doing many questions that require us to do so, and inshallah you will get to know where you have to do the conversion. And the third formula that you need to know is that of concentration. Concentration is equal to moles over volume. Okay, so this you should be aware of. And one formula that's not very frequent, but that's percentage yield. So to find the percentage yield, you have to have actual yield by theoretical yield. And since it's percentage, so it requires multiplication with 100. So these four formulas you should know, and you should know when to take out which formula out of your bag to solve the questions. And inshallah you will be able to solve any questions related to it by the time we reach the last question. Okay, so let's clear up the space and let's start with the questions. So the formulas I've just mentioned, write them down somewhere at the top of the page or at the side of a page where you are doing these questions, and so that you have a reference and you can understand which formula to use. Okay. Question number 1. 1 mole of silver nitrate contains 1.2 into 10 raised to the power 24 ions. How many ions are there in 0.25 moles of iron oxide? Okay. Now, where we know that in AgNO3 there is one silver ion and one nitrate ion. Okay, so there are basically two ions. Okay, so for silver, the moles that are there are 1 into 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23, and for nitrate it's 1 into 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23. So when you multiply them and add them, so the answer is 1.2 into 10 raised to the power 24 ions. Okay, that's how they are stating that 1 mole of AgNO3 contains this much ions. Okay, now we need to find the ions for Fe2O3 in 0.25. Okay, so first we need to find how many ions are there in Fe2O3. Okay, so in 1 mole of Fe2O3, we have 2 moles of iron. Okay, and we have 3 moles of oxygen, right? You can see that from the formula. So what does that mean? That there are a total of 5 ions. Okay, so you can do 2 into 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23 plus 3 into 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23, or you can just multiply 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 3 with 5. That would be fine. Okay, so this yields 3.01 into 10 raised to the power 24 ions. Okay, so in 1 mole of Fe2O3 there are this much ions, but they are not asking us about 1 mole. They are asking us about 0.24 moles, which is a quarter of 1. Okay, now. So now what we need to do is that we need to write moles over here and ions over here. So when there is 1 mole, so the ions that are present in Fe2O3 are 3.01 into 10 raised to the power 24. And when there are 0.25 moles, so we don't know how many ions are there. So now we cross multiply these. Okay, 3.01 into 10 raised to the power 24 into 0.25 is equal to x into 1. So it's x. So basically, after multiplying this, we are going to get our answer, which is 7.5 into 10 raised to the power 23 ions. Okay, in 0.25 moles of Fe2O3. So whenever you have to find a specific number of ions in a specific number of moles, so what you need to do is find how many ions are there in that compound. Okay, and after you've identified that, multiply the number of ions with the Avogadro's constant, which is 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23. So then you will have the number of ions in 1 mole, and you can find out how many number of ions are there in whatever moles that you require. You could also find that in 0.50, 0.75, or whatever number that may be. So to find the number of ions in 1 mole, this is the process. Okay, just find the number of ions in that specific compound and multiply it with Avogadro's constant. This is going to give you the number of ions in 1 mole. And once you have your number of ions in 1 mole, so you can find the number of ions in how many much moles you require. Okay, I hope you understood this question, because this is a very important question, and this can come in your paper at any times. Acha, let's clear up the space for question number 2. So you can write down on the top of the question that this is how you find the number of ions in a compound, and then number of ions in a specific number of moles in that compound as well. Okay? This is the method. I've explained the logic as well, but sometimes you have to remember things as well. It's not like you shouldn't remember anything and you should always go towards the logic. You've got to remember the logic as well. Okay? Okay, moving towards question number 2. Which sample contains the largest number of molecules? Okay. So, the number of moles are proportional to the number of molecules. Okay? Okay, remember this thing. And then we are going to move towards the question. So, firstly, we have 16 grams of methane. Then we have 16 grams of oxygen. Then we have 16 grams of phosphorus. And then we have 16 decimeter cubes of methane at room temperature and pressure, okay, as a gas as well. Acha. Now what we need to do is we have our grams, okay, and we have our compound, okay. So what should we do is we should find the number of moles in this much grams, okay, of the compound, and then just compare them with each other to find the sample which contains the largest number of moles. So the first formula that I told you was number of moles is equal to mass of the substance over the MR, which is the molecular mass. Okay. So if we do the calculation for the first option, it's moles is equal to mass is 16 grams. And MR for CH4 would be 12 plus 1 into 4, 16. Okay. So 16 grams of methane contains 1 moles. Okay. Now moving on to the B part, usme we are going to find the moles of oxygen. So 16 grams of oxygen is there and it's O2, so MR for O2 is going to be 16 into 2, which is 32. Okay, so this is going to give us 1 over 2 is 0.5 moles. Okay, 16 grams of oxygen contains 0.5 moles. Okay, C wala jo hai, it's 16 grams of phosphorus. And the MR for phosphorus would be 124. Okay. So 16 over 124 is going to give us 0.13 moles. Okay. And for D part, we have 16 decimeter cubes of methane. So now the formula for moles is going to get altered. I told you that this formula is for solid substances, okay? And we have another formula of number of moles, which is volume by molar volume, which should be in decimeter cubes, okay? Even if it's given in centimeters cubes, you should change it in decimeter cubes, okay? Acha. Now, we will use this formula. So volume of methane is 16 decimeter cubes, and MV, which is molar volume, is always decimeter cubes or 24,000 centimeter cubes. Okay, but we use decimeter cubes. Okay, ये भी decimeter cubes में, ये भी decimeter cube में, so this is going to give us 0.67. Now we have moles of all the samples. Okay, so we can find which one has the largest number of molecules. The ones that have the most number of moles will have the largest number of Molecules, because I've told you that number of moles are proportional to the number of molecules. So if you look at this, the first sample has 1 mole, this is 0.5, this is 0.13, and this is 0.67. So the largest number of moles is in a sample of 16 grams of methane. So इसी के अंदर will be the largest number of molecules. So A is going to be our correct option. Okay. अच्छा इसके अंदर we didn't circle the correct answer. It was C. ठीक हो क्या? अच्छा, moving forward. Question number 3. The concentration of a sample of dilute aqueous sodium hydroxide is found by titration. Which information is needed to calculate the concentration of dilute aqueous sodium hydroxide in mole per decimeter cubes? Okay. The formula for concentration is moles over volume. ठीक है. So if you have moles of HCl, so you can also find the moles for NaOH. ठीक है. If you have a concentration and volume of HCl, so you can find the moles as well. ठीक है. Because these formulas can be manipulated. So you need moles of HCl, and if you have volume of HCl, so from that you can always get to know the concentration of dilute sodium hydroxide, because you will write the formula and these are interchangeable. Actually, this question has come quite early, so even we will inshallah be doing these things, so you will get to know okay what we require. So concentration of HCl, yes, we require. Volume of HCl used, we required. Molar mass of HCl is not required, because moles and concentration and volume is going to provide us with the moles. ठीक है. So volume of NaOH used, yes, this is required. We will find the moles of NaOH using the equation, and moles of HCl is going to provide us the moles of NaOH as well. Molar mass of NaOH is also not required. So we are looking for some pattern that looks like this. So this requires everything. B requires these two things, not these, this. So B is going to be our correct answer. You will get to know inshallah this question in detail. ठीक है, अभी हम करेंगे when. So I'll refer this question at that time. ठीक है. Question number 4. Heating iron sulfide FeS2 in air produces sulfur dioxide. What is the maximum mass of sulfur dioxide produced from 120 kgs of iron sulfide? Okay. One thing that I forgot to mention at the start of the lecture is that a balanced chemical equation, ठीक है, related to the statement of your question is your best friend when it comes to solving questions related to moles. ठीक है. You've got to keep your eye on the balanced chemical equation, ठीक है, related to the question, obviously, and this is going to do wonders for you. ठीक है. This is your best friend in these questions, as I've just stated. Okay. Now what the question says is that we have 120 kgs of iron sulfide. Okay, and we need to find the mass of sulfur dioxide that's prepared from. So what are we going to do first? We are going to convert this mass into moles. Okay, so the formula for moles over here is going to be mass over MR, which is molecular mass. ठीक है, because we are dealing with solids. So अच्छा, यहाँ पर the mass is given in kgs and the answer is in kgs as well, but I think we should convert this into grams at the moment. ठीक है, because it's always in grams, so it's a good idea to convert it into grams. So the mass is going to be 120,000 obviously grams. ठीक है, because when you convert kgs to gram, so you have to multiply the kgs with 1000. So this is going to become 120,000. ठीक है. अच्छा, MR for iron sulfide is required. ठीक है, that is going to be 56 is the atomic mass for iron, and for sulfur it's 32, and because there is a 2 over here, so we are going to multiply it with this, and after calculation we find it to be 120 grams per mole. ठीक है जी. अच्छा, this is the MR, so we are going to divide it with this. ठीक है. So 1000 moles is the answer that we have. ठीक हो गया जी. Now we have the moles of Fe2S. From this we can find the moles of sulfur dioxide. So how do we do it? We write and SO2. So there are 4 of FeS2 and 8 of SO2. ठीक है. And we know the moles of FeS2, so they are 1000, and we need to find the moles for SO2, so we will write X over here. Now cross multiplication is going to happen, and 4x is equal to 8000. So X is going to be 8000 over 4 and 2000. ठीक है. So there are 2000 mole of sulfur dioxide. ठीक है. Now once we have the moles of sulfur dioxide, we can always find the mass of sulfur dioxide. We know our formula. Moles is equal to mass over MR. So moles are 2000. Mass we have to find, and SO2 के लिए MR is going to be 64, because sulfur is 32 and we have to multiply it with 2. ठीक है. Oh, sorry. Sulfur is 32 plus 16 into 2. So this is going to give us MR for SO2. ठीक है. 32 plus 32 is 64. So let's write it over here. So 64 into 2000 is going to give us the mass, which is going to be 128,000 grams. But we need an answer in kgs, so we need to convert it into kgs. So this is going to give us 128 kgs. ठीक हो गया जी. So B is going to be the correct answer. I hope you understood what we've done. And we are going to do it so many times that inshallah you are going to know it by heart. Moving on to question number 5. The equation for the thermal decomposition of sodium hydrogen carbonate is shown. The MR of sodium hydrogen carbonate is 84. The MR of sodium carbonate is 106. In an experiment, 2.1 grams of sodium hydrogen carbonate is heated, but not all of it decomposes. All of the carbon dioxide is collected and measured at room temperature and pressure. The total volume of carbon dioxide produces 0.21 decimeter. The volume of 1 mole of gas at room temperature and pressure is 24 decimeter cubes, and you know that I've just told you before as well. Which statement is correct? The mass of sodium carbonate produced is this much. The mass of sodium carbonate produces this much. The percentage yield of carbon dioxide is 10%. The percentage yield of carbon dioxide is 35%. Okay, now we need to solve this question. ठीक है? So what we need to do is that we have this much grams of sodium hydrogen carbonate, and we have this much volume of carbon dioxide. So we can find the moles of carbon dioxide using this. ठीक है? So for this purpose, you know that we use the formula moles is equal to volume of the substance by molar volume. ठीक है? So volume over here is 0.21 decimeter cubes, and obviously the molar volume we are also going to use 24 decimeter cubes. So this is going to give us 8.75 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 moles. ठीक हो क्या जी? Once we have these moles, I told you that this is the best friend while solving these questions. Now we know that 2 moles of NaHCO3 decompose and give 1 mole of Na2CO3, 1 of H2O, and 1 of CO2. The question you must be thinking, or maybe you are not thinking, but I want you to think that we have the mass of sodium hydrogen carbonate as well. Why don't we use this to find the number of moles of Na2CO3, or why don't we use it to find the number of moles of CO2 and all? Because they stated in the question that all of it wasn't decomposed, so all of it wasn't used over here. So this is in excess over here. Okay, we need to find a factor that is limited. Okay, so with the help of CO2 now, we can find the number of moles of Na2CO3. Okay, so how are we going to do it? We are going to write CO2 and Na2CO3 over here. And we know that the number of moles for carbon dioxide and Na2CO3 are equal. So this means that the number of moles of carbon dioxide would be equal to the number of moles of Na2CO3. So Na2CO3 ke moles we are 8.75 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. ठीक हो क्या? Now once we have moles of Na2CO3, so now we can see that how much mass of sodium carbonate was produced. If this much were the number of moles, so the mass produced would be moles is equal to mass by mR. ठीक है? The moles are 8.75 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. Mass we've got to find, and the mR for sodium carbonate is 106. So 106 multiplied by 8.75 into 10 raised to the power 3 is going to give us a mass of 0.9275 grams. Okay. So this means that our first statement can be correct. Okay, if you round it off, so this becomes 0.93 grams. Okay, but let's go through the other options as well. Or we've got our answer, so ye wala to is going to be not correct. Percentage yield, we don't need to see if we've got the right answer. So A is the correct answer, so let's move on, because the video is going to become extremely long. Okay. I'll just clear the space. Okay. Question number 6. Which sample does not contain a number of atoms equal to the Avogadro's constant? Okay. We have been given masses of 4 substances. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to find number of moles for everything. Okay. The number of moles for option A would be moles is equal to mass over mR. So the mass over here is 14 grams, and the mR for nitrogen is 14, and 14 into 2 is 28. mR for it is 28. So this is going to give us 0.5 moles. And since there are 2 atoms in this molecule, okay, there are 2 atoms. So in 1 mole of N2 to 1, and 1 multiplied by 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23 is 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23. So this is equal to the Avogadro's constant. Okay. So N2 cannot be our answer. Okay. Okay. Moving on to option B, 6 grams of water. Okay. The number of moles can be found by this. Mass is 6 grams, and mR for H2O would be 16 plus 2, which is 18. So this is going to give us an answer of 1/3. ठीक हो क्या? And we know that there are 3 atoms in one molecule of water. 2 of hydrogen and 1 of oxygen. ठीक है? Is equal to 3 atoms. So we need to multiply 1/3 with 3. Just like we multiplied 0.5 with 2, because there were 2 atoms in one molecule of nitrogen. So this is going to again give us 1. And 1 multiplied by 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23 is 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23. So ye to is equal to Avogadro's constant. We need something which is not equal, which does not contain number of atoms to be equal to Avogadro's constant. ठीक हो क्या? So we are going to move towards our option C. Okay. Here we have 4 grams of helium. So the moles are going to be mass, which is 4 grams, and helium ka MR is 4. So this again gives us 1. So the number of atoms in 4 grams of helium would be equal to the Avogadro's constant again. Okay. When we move on to our option D, we have 28 grams of carbon monoxide. So the number of moles for it are 28, and carbon monoxide is 12 plus 16. So this is going to give us an MR of 28. Okay, so this gives us 1. But if you see that there are 2 atoms in the molecule of CO, so we need to multiply this 1 with 2. So this is going to give us 2. Okay, and if we multiply 2 with 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23, so this is not going to be equal to 6.02 into 10 raised to the power 23. So 28 grams of carbon monoxide have number of atoms which are not equal to the Avogadro's constant. All these other samples have atoms equal to the number of Avogadro's constant. Okay, so I hope you got the idea. Okay, moving on to question number 7. 4.55 grams of zinc is reacted with 50 centimeter cubes of 2.25 mole per decimeter cube dilute hydrochloric acid. The equation for the reaction is shown. Which volume of hydrogen gas at room temperature and pressure is produced in the reaction? Okay. Now we have mass of zinc and we have concentration of HCl. So we can find moles for zinc and we can find moles for HCl as well. In this question, I am going to introduce a new thing. You must have done that in class, but this is the first time that we are doing this thing, or we are facing this thing in these questions, which is the excess, substance in excess and limiting reactant. ठीक है जी? So we are going to get to it once we reach this place. Okay. So first thing is first, we need to find out the moles of zinc and we need to find the moles of HCl. Okay. We could find the moles of HCl from after finding the moles of zinc and equating them together and finding their ratios. But since we have been given the concentration and the volume for HCl, so we are going to find that separately. Okay. So the mole of zinc need to be calculated, and the formula for that would be moles is equal to mass over MR. Since zinc is a solid, so mass is 4.55 grams and MR for zinc is going to be 65. Okay, so the number of moles of zinc in this reaction are 0.07 moles. ठीक हो गया? Now we can find the moles for what do you say, HCl. For that we have concentration and the volume. So we can use the formula concentration is equal to moles by volume. ठीक है, I told you to keep these formulas handy. Somewhere you can see them always while doing these questions. ठीक है, because in the beginning you will have problem finding the exact formula that you need to use, and after some time you are going to get over it. But for the start, kindly write them somewhere in a space that is visible to you while doing these questions. ठीक है, the concentration was 2.25 moles per decimeter cube, so nothing needs to be converted over here. And we have moles over here, and the volume is given to us in centimeter cubes, whereas concentration is given to us in mole per decimeter cube. So this volume needs to be converted into decimeters cubes. ठीक है, so in order to convert centimeter cubes into decimeter cubes, we need to divide this by 1000. ठीक है, so we get 0.050 decimeter cubes. ठीक है, so after multiplying 2.25 with 0.05, the number of moles that we get are 0.1125. We have moles of zinc, and we have moles of hydrochloric acid, and we need to find the moles of hydrogen. But the question over here is that what moles should we use? Should we use the moles of zinc to find the moles of hydrogen, or should we use the moles of hydrochloric acid to find the moles of hydrogen? Okay, this is where excess and limiting reactant thing comes into play that I was telling you about. We always use the compound that is in excess, that is limiting, which is not in excess. So we need to first determine which one of these is in excess and which one of these is limiting. So what we need to do is, we need to equate their moles. ठीक है? They've given us the fact that 50 centimeter cubes of 2.25 moles per decimeter cubes of dilute hydrochloric acid was reacted with zinc. But how much was required and how much was provided is another story. ठीक है, in order to complete this reaction, certain amount of moles is required that we are going to find out with this equation. ठीक है, so zinc and HCl. So we know that zinc में 1 mole था, HCl में 2 था. The moles of zinc, as we know from this reaction and this mass, it were 0.07. ठीक है, and we will find that how much HCl was required to completely use this zinc. ठीक है, we know how much we have, but we need to know how much was required. Okay, so if we cross multiply this, we have 2 into 0.07. So the number of moles that we get over here, 0.14. Okay, so this much moles were required to use all of the 4.55 grams of zinc in the reaction. Okay, but when we found out the moles of HCl from this concentration in this volume, we found that to be 0.1125 moles. This is much less than 0.14 moles. We needed this much, but we only had this much. So now we see that zinc basically is in excess and HCl basically is limited. ठीक है, we needed this much, but we just have this much. So we always use the moles of the limiting reactant. We don't use the moles of the one in excess. ठीक है, अच्छा, in most of the questions, not most of, in many questions, they already state the fact that which reactant is in excess and which is the limiting one. They'll tell you one way or the other. ठीक है, and sometimes when they haven't given it to us, when we have the mass of zinc and then we have the concentration and volume of the other acid or compound or whatever we are using in the reaction, we need to see that which one of these moles we will use to find the moles of the products. Okay? So once we've established that HCl is the limited reaction, we will use its moles. Okay? So now what we do is that, okay, we can do it over here. Okay? Then we will get rid of it. Okay, to find the moles of H2 hydrogen, we have HCl and we have hydrogen. We know that there are 2 moles of hydrogen, and 2 moles of hydrochloric acid and 1 mole of hydrogen. And the moles of hydrochloric acid that we have available are 0.1125. So with this, we can find the number of moles of hydrogen. We need to cross multiply this, and we will get the answer of X to be 0.56. So once we have the moles of hydrogen, what we need to do is we need to find the volume of the hydrogen gas that was produced. So we have the moles. We are going to use the formula moles is equal to volume of the substance by molar volume, which is going to be 24 decimeter cubes. So the moles are 0.56. The volume is what we need to find, and this is 24. So 24 into 0.56 is going to give you a volume of 1.35 decimeter cube. ठीक हो गया? So our answer is going to be A. Acha, I need to give you a suggestion. Whenever there is such a question in your paper that requires so much working, even if you know it by heart, I'll advise you to leave it. Do all the other questions which require simple yes or no, or which require one single answer, the MCQ type, the real MCQ type questions that don't require much calculation. So do them first and leave these questions to be done in the end. Okay? Then you can just do it and you don't have a problem that you are going to spend too much time on this and some of the questions are going to be left behind. So this is what I've been told to do, and I think that's a very sensible option to do. Okay? So keep them for the end. Inshallah, by the end of this video, you will be doing these questions in a jiffy, but still they require calculations. Na? So do them later on. Acha, I'll just clear the board. Okay, question number 8. The equation of the reaction between hydrogen sulfide and oxygen is shown. Which mass of oxygen is required to react with 5.1 grams of hydrogen sulfide? Okay. First of all, we need to find the moles of hydrogen sulfide. Okay? So moles is equal to mass over MR. Since it's a solid, so we are going to use this formula. The mass is 5.1 and MR for hydrogen sulfide is 34. Since for sulfur it's 32, and then for hydrogen it's 2. So 32 plus 2 is 34. Okay? So this is going to give us the number of moles, 0.15 moles. Okay? So we know that this much grams of hydrogen sulfide contains itne moles of hydrogen sulfide. ठीक हो क्या जी? Once we've found that out, what we need to know is the number of moles for oxygen over here. Okay? So we are going to now find the number of moles of oxygen. How are we going to do that? We are going to use the moles of hydrogen sulfide. Okay, there were 2 moles of hydrogen sulfide and there are 3 moles of oxygen. And we know that 0.15 moles are in these 2 moles, and for this we need to find. We are going to cross multiply them. 2x is equal to 33 into 0.15, and then obviously it will be divided by 2. So the moles of oxygen are 0.225 moles. Okay? Once we have the moles of oxygen, we will have no difficulty finding the mass of oxygen. Okay? We are going to use the formula moles is equal to mass over MR. So moles we know are 0.225 mass we need to find, and MR for oxygen is 32. Okay, so this is going to give us 7.2 grams of oxygen. Okay, ji. So this is the mass of oxygen required to react with 5.1 grams of hydrogen sulfide. So C is going to be our correct answer. So it was easy, wasn't it? Okay, question number 9. 12.4 grams of copper 2 carbonate is heated in a test tube. Only 50% is decomposed. What will be the final mass of the substance in the test tube? Okay. Now I just told you that a balanced chemical equation is your best friend while doing these questions. Usually a balanced equation is given. But if a balanced equation is not given, so we can write a balanced equation. And this is a very, very simple reaction, and you must have gone through it sometimes in your course while going through it. So this is going to give us, when we heat copper 2 carbonate, which is CuCO3, so this is going to give you CuO plus carbon dioxide, and this is a balanced equation. Okay? So now they've told us that 50% of it decomposed and 50% of it was left. So if the mass was 12.4 grams, so half of 12.4 grams must have been used and half is still there. ठीक हो क्या ना? तो what we need to do is we first need to convert this mass into half so that we know that how many moles were used and how many were left and all. ठीक है? So first thing is first we need to half this. 12.4 divided by 2 is going to serve the purpose, and 6.2 grams. So only 6.2 grams of CuCO3 was used. Okay, rest of the 6.2 grams is left, is still there in the test tube. Okay, so we can find the number of moles by using this. So moles is equal to mass by MR, which is 100 for CuCO3 के लिए, sorry, 124 है. CaCO3 के लिए it's 100. So this is going to give us 0.05 moles. ठीक है? And then obviously in the test tube in the end, CO2 is going to be a gas, so it's not going to be in the test tube, it is going to get out of the test tube. ठीक है? We have CuO also there in the test tube. The sum of it has been converted to CuO, and 50%, yani 6.2 grams is still of CuCO3 is still there. So we need to find the number of moles or mass of CuO. Once we found the moles of CuCO3 by what was given to us in the question, we can now find the number of moles of CuO. Okay, that's the logical way to be. So 1 mole of CuCO3 and 1 of CuO, and 0.05 moles of this and X. So obviously CuO ke moles B would be 0.05. Now with these moles we can find the mass of CuO. Moles is equal to mass over MR. Okay. So moles are 0.05. Oh, sorry, 0.05. Mass we have to find, and MR for this has been given 80. So 80 into 0.05 is going to give us a mass of 4 grams. So now we know that 6.9 grams of CuCO3 is in the test tube and 4 grams of CuO is in the test tube. So what is going to be remaining in the test tube is going to be 4 grams of CuO and 6.2 grams of CuCO3. So this is going to give us 10.2 grams. 10.2 grams is the final mass of the substance that is left in the test tube. ठीक हो गया? So if we make a figure over here, So this was a test tube. ठीक है? It contained 12.4 grams of CuCO3, which decomposed into CuO, ठीक है, and CO2. But that is not going, CO2 is not going to contribute in the mass because it must have been released as soon as it was formed. So after solving everything, we found that half of it was used in the reaction. So half was used in 6.2 was there. And then we know that 4 grams of CuO was produced when it decomposed. So when we add the 6.2 of CO3 which was remaining with the 4 grams of CuO which was produced, so we will get the final mass of the test tube. Okay. So I hope this question is now clear. Okay, moving on to question number 10. Methane and steam react in the presence of a catalyst. 0.5 mole of methane reacts completely with 0.5 moles of steam. What is the volume of carbon dioxide and hydrogen produced measured at room temperature and pressure? Okay. Now we know how many moles of steam and how many moles of methane are there. Okay. With the help of that, we can find the moles of carbon monoxide and moles of hydrogen. अच्छा, यहाँ पे 1 mole of methane was there, 1 mole of H2 was there, and 1 mole of CO is there. So the moles of CO would be, carbon monoxide would be the same as those of methane and water. ठीक है? To find the moles of hydrogen, we need to do the exercise that we do. 1:3 का ratio था. 0.5 moles were there. So moles of hydrogen would be 0.5 into 3. ठीक है? So that is going to give us 1.5 moles. ठीक है? Now we know the moles of carbon monoxide and moles of hydrogen. We can now simply find the volume of both. So to find the volume of carbon monoxide, we need the formula moles is equal to volume by molar volume, which is 24 decimeter cubes. So there are 0.5 moles of carbon monoxide. Volume we need to find, and this is 24 decimeter cubes. So 24 into 0.5 is going to give us 12 decimeter cubes of carbon monoxide. And now we need to find the volume of H2. For that, we also need the same formula. Moles is equal to volume of hydrogen by molar volume. So the moles of hydrogen we found out to be 1.5. Volume we still have to find. And for molar volume, we are going to use 24 decimeter cubes. So 24 into 1.5 is going to give us the volume as 36 decimeter cubes. Okay? So this is the volume of H2, this is the volume of CO, and let's look at our options. We need the volume of CO to be 12. These two are 12s, so these are going to be eliminated. And that is for hydrogen is 36. So D is our correct option, which gives this answers. Okay, question number 11. The equation for the reaction between aqueous lead nitrate and aqueous sodium chloride is shown. Okay, if 100 centimeter cube of aqueous lead nitrate of concentration 0.1 mole per decimeter cube is reacted with excess of aqueous sodium chloride, which mass of lead 2 chloride is obtained? So I told you before in the previous question as well that sometimes they will give you which reactants are in excess and which are the limiting one. So in this question, they've told us that aqueous sodium chloride is in excess. So we don't need to use the number of moles of NaCl. We are going to use the number of moles of lead nitrate because this is the limiting reactant. Okay. Okay. First thing is first, we need to find the moles of lead nitrate with the formula concentration is equal to moles over volume. Okay, the concentration we know is 0.1 moles per decimeter cubes. The moles we are about to find and the volume is 100 centimeter cubes. The concentration is in mole per decimeter cubes, so the volume should also be in decimeter cubes. So how do we do that? We divide this with 1000. Okay. So this is going to be 0.1 decimeter cubes. ठीक हो क्या? So we will write the volume to be 0.1 decimeter cubes. So 0.1 into 0.1 is going to give us 0.01. So now we have the moles of PbNO3 So we can always find the moles of PbCl2, which is lead chloride, with this. Okay? Since they are in a ratio of 1:1, so the moles of PbNO3 which was 0.01 moles, would be the moles for lead chloride. Okay? It would be the same. So once we know the moles, we can find the mass. Moles is equal to mass by MR. We know that we use this formula when a solid is involved. So 0.01 moles we have, mass we are going to find, and the MR for PbCl2 is 278. Okay? This 278 into 0.01 is going to give us a mass of 2.78 grams. So this is the mass that is obtained when aqueous lead nitrate is reacted with aqueous sodium chloride. ठीक हो क्या? So where is our option? C. C is our correct option. Okay, moving on to question number 12. A 0.5 gram sample of calcium carbonate is reacted with excess dilute hydrochloric acid. CaCO3 plus 2HCl, CaCl2. Okay, there is. Which volume of CO2 is produced? Okay. Now, if you see that in this question, the grams of CaCO3 are given, but the concentration and volume of HCl is not given, that we could have used to find the moles. Okay? So, the moles of CaCO3 are enough to find the volume of CO2 only. Okay, to find the moles of calcium carbonate, we need the formula moles is equal to mass by MR. So mass is 0.5 grams and the MR for CaCO3 is 100. So this is going to give us the moles to be 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. ठीक हो क्या? So now we have the moles and we can easily find the moles of carbon dioxide. Since the moles, since CaCO3 and CO2 are in the same ratio, that is 1:1, the moles are in the same ratio. So CO2 will have the same number of moles as CaCO3 in the reaction. Okay, we are going to use these moles to find the volume for CO2. So if we need to find the volume of the gas, so the formula that we require is moles is equal to volume by molar volume, which is 24 decimeters cube. So the volume we need to find, okay? The moles are 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. Volume is still here and this is 24. Molar volume is always 24 decimeter cubes or 24,000 centimeters cubes depending on the question. So if we multiply 24 with 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 3, we get a volume of 0.12 decimeter cubes. Okay? The answer requires us to give it in decimeter cubes, so this is it. Okay? So I hope you understood the question. Moving forward, question number 13. Calcium carbonate reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid to produce carbon dioxide. The equation for the reaction is shown. The relative formula mass of calcium carbonate is 100. 10 grams of calcium carbonate is reacted with an excess of dilute hydrochloric acid. Which mass of carbon dioxide is produced? So again in the question they've told you that HCl is in excess, and we were not given any concentration or volume of the HCl that we would get confused. We are only given the mass of CaCO3. So that is what we are going to use to find the moles of CaCO3, and then later on the moles of CO2. So first thing is first, we need to find the moles of CaCO3. So moles is equal to mass by MR. Okay? So because this was a solid substance, so we use this formula. So 10 grams of this, MR is 100. So this is going to give us 0.10. Since CaCO3 and CO2, the moles are in ratio of 1:1, so the moles of CaCO3 would be used as moles of CO2. Okay? And we need to find the mass. This time we are finding the mass, not the volume. So we again are going to use the formula, that is moles is equal to mass by MR, since we are finding the mass. So 0.10 moles are used, mass is there, and MR for CO2 would be 44. 12 plus 32 is 44. ठीक हो गया? So 44 into 0.10 is going to give us a mass of 4.4 grams. The 4.4 grams of CO2 is going to be produced when 10 grams of CaCO3 is reacted with excess of HCl. Okay. So C is going to be our correct option for that. Question number 14. The equation for the reaction of sodium with water is shown. What is the volume of hydrogen gas measured at RTP produced when 18.4 grams of sodium reacts with excess of water? So in the question, they've already mentioned that water is an excess out of the reactant, so sodium would be the limiting reactant. Okay, and we know that we use the moles of the limiting reactant to find the moles of the product that we've asked to find. Okay, so now once we have the mass of sodium and we know it's the limiting reactant, the first thing that we would do is that we will find the number of moles of sodium. Okay, so you know that the formula for moles is mass of the substance by its MR. Okay, so mass of the substance is 18.4 grams. MR for sodium would be 23. So after dividing this with 23, you get 0.8 moles of sodium. Now, if we look at the equation, we know there were 2 moles of sodium that produced 1 mole of hydrogen. So if we need to find the moles for hydrogen, we know that sodium and hydrogen, sodium was 2, hydrogen was 1, sodium was 0.8 moles. So the moles of hydrogen needs to be found. We will cross multiply. So it is going to give us 2x into 0.8 and x is equal to 0.8 over 2. This is going to give us 0.4 moles. Now we have the moles of hydrogen. So it is very easy to find the volume of hydrogen. As hydrogen is a gas, so the formula that we are going to require is moles is equal to volume by molar volume. And we know that all the answers are in decimeter cube, so the molar volume should be 24 decimeter cubes. The value should be 24 decimeter cubes. So we will write the values in the formula. 0.4 is equal to volume of H2 over molar volume, that is 24 decimeter cubes. So 24 into 0.4 is going to give you 9.6 decimeter cubes of hydrogen at RTP, which is room temperature and pressure. So A is going to be our correct answer. Okay. Moving on to question number 15. the equation for the reaction of iron 3 oxide with carbon monoxide is shown. What is the maximum mass of iron that can be made from 480 grams of iron 3 oxide? Okay. We have the equation. Okay. We have our mass of iron oxide. Okay, iron 3 oxide to be specific, and we have to find how much iron was produced. Acha, in this reaction, we don't have anything that's related to carbon monoxide. We don't have its concentration. We don't have its volume. So, यहाँ इस question में we are not going to be finding the limiting reactant or the excess, the one in excess. Okay, we are just given the mass for iron oxide. So we are going to find moles from that mass, and then the moles of iron, and then the mass of iron. Okay, simple step procedure. Achha, let me just clear the space. So whenever we are given a mass, the first thing that we do is find the moles from that mass of the substance. Okay, so what formula are we going to use is moles, mass of the substance by MR, since iron oxide is solid. Okay, so what is the mass? It is 480 grams over the MR for Fe2O3 is 160. So 3 moles are produced from this mass. Okay. The other thing that we need to do is now we need to find the moles of the substance for which we have to find the mass. That is Fe. Okay. So now if we look at the equations, 1 mole of Fe2O3 was there. Okay. And for iron there were 2. Okay. And then we know there are 3 moles of Fe2O3 from this mass, and we don't know for this Fe. So X is equal to 6 moles would be the answer. Okay. Now once we have the moles of iron, it is very easy to find its mass. We use the same formula, moles is equal to mass of the substance by MR. Okay. The mass of the substance we have to find. Moles we know are 6, and MR for iron basically is 56. Okay. So 56 into 6 is going to give us the mass of iron produced from 480 grams of iron oxide, and that is going to be 336 grams. Okay. So D is our correct answer. Okay. Moving on to question number 16. What is the concentration of the solution when 318 grams of sodium carbonate is dissolved in water to make a solution of 250 centimeter cubes? Okay. Now we need to find the concentration of sodium carbonate, and we have its mass and we have its volume. Okay. So the formula for concentration is concentration is equal to moles per volume. Okay. So we have the volume over here. Okay, but we don't have the moles. Okay, but we have the mass. So we can convert the mass into moles with our simple formula, which is moles is equal to mass by MR. Okay. So the mass basically is 31.8, and MR for Na2CO3 is 106. Okay. So this gives an answer of 0.3 moles. So now once we have the moles of sodium carbonate, we can easily find the concentration, since we also have the volume. So the moles are 0.3, and the volume for Na2CO3 is 250. Okay, 250 centimeter cube is given, but since the answer you can see is in decimeters cube, so we need to convert this centimeter cubes the volume in centimeter cubes into decimeters cube. How do we do it? We divide it with 1000. So this is going to become 0.25 decimeter cubes. ठीक हो गया? We are going to write this down, and then after calculation we find the concentration to be 1.2 mole per decimeter cubes. Yeah, fairly an easy question. C is our correct answer. Okay. Question number 17. The equation for the decomposition of calcium carbonate is shown. Which mass of calcium oxide is produced when 10 grams of calcium carbonate is heated? Okay. This is calcium carbonate. It is heated and calcium oxide and carbon dioxide are produced. And we know that the mass for calcium carbonate that is used in the reaction is 10 grams. Okay. And we have to find the mass of calcium oxide. So first we have to find the moles of calcium carbonate so that we can find the mass of calcium oxide. Okay, we've been given the mass. So the first instinctive reaction that you should have is that you should just try and find the moles of the substance for which you've been given the mass. Okay, the moles is equal to mass over mr, since calcium carbonate is a solid, so we are using this formula. So this is 10 grams by mr of CaCO3 is 100. Okay, so we get 0.1 moles. Okay, once we have the moles of calcium carbonate, we can easily find the moles of calcium oxide from that and then its mass. Since calcium carbonate is 1 moles in the reactants and calcium oxide is 1 moles in the product, so they have a ratio of 1:1. So the moles for calcium oxide would be the same as that of calcium carbonate. Okay, once we know that 0.1 moles hai calcium oxide ke, so what we need to do is we need to find its mass. So we are going to use our formula again. Moles is equal to mass by mr. Moles हमारे हैं 0.1, since CaCO3 and CaO are in the ratio of 1:1, so moles won't be different. So mass is something we need to find, and mr number for CaO is 56. Since you guys, I'm pretty sure know about how to find the mr. For example, it's CaO. तो कैल्शियम का आपको लिखना पड़ेगा और फिर ऑक्सीजन का आपको लिखना पड़ेगा, एंड यू आर गोइंग टू ऐड देम टू फाइंड द mr. ठीक है ना? तो this after multiplying 5.6 with 0.1, the mass that we are going to get is 5.6 grams. So 10 grams of calcium carbonate when heated produces 5.6 grams of calcium oxide. ठीक है? And obviously some amount of carbon dioxide gas is also produced. So moving on to question number 18, how much hydrogen is needed to react completely with 0.02 moles of butene to make butane? Okay, butane is an alkane and butene is an alkene. You are going to know about these when you go to the topic of organic chemistry. But over here we don't need to indulge into that. Okay? We are just given. What you need to know about this is a little bit that butene and butane are hydrocarbons and they contain two substances. One is hydrogen and one is carbon. So this you should know at this level, that they are hydrocarbons and they contain two elements which are hydrogen and carbon. I am going to write the chemical equation for you as well. Since I know what butane is and what butene is. So there are 0.2 moles of butane and we have to make butene. So butene is an alkene, we need to convert into alkene. Okay? So butene is C4H8 and it's reacted with H2 okay, to produce C4H10. Okay? So we have moles of this and we need to find hydrogen, which is a gas, to know what it takes to convert this into butane. What we need to do is, we will this space for question number 9 and this space for question number 18. Acha, we already have the moles. We don't need to do anything. We know that butene and hydrogen are in a ratio of 1:1. So the moles of butene would be the same for hydrogen as well. Okay? So when we need to find the volume of hydrogen, since it's a gas, we don't need to find the mass. The first instinct is that you should find the volume, ठीक है, of a substance which usually exists as a gas, तो हम उसका weight नहीं, mass नहीं find करते, we will find its volume, ठीक है. The formula for that is moles is equal to volume by molar volume, and the answer as is in decimeter cube, so we will use the value of 24 decimeter cubes over here. Acha, we know how much moles are there. We need to find the volume of H2, and MV would be, molar volume would be 24 decimeter cubes. So multiplying 24 decimeter cubes with 0.02 is going to give us 0.48 decimeter cube. So this is the volume that is required to react completely with 0.02 moles of butene to make it butene. ठीक हो गया? So B is going to be our correct answer. 19. The equation for the decomposition of magnesium nitrate is shown. Which volume of gas is produced when 0.1 moles of magnesium nitrate is decomposed completely? Okay. If you look at the equation, I have told you several times that this is your best friend when it comes to the questions related to moles. We see that this was magnesium nitrate, which was a solid, and it was decomposed, and it produces magnesium oxide, which is a solid, and then it produced two types of gases. One was nitrogen oxide, and one was oxygen. Okay, now two gases have been formed, and they've asked us which volume of gas is produced. So they've not specified that volume. Do they require the volume of oxygen, or do they require the volume of nitrogen oxide? So what we need to do is we need to find the volume of, since we have been given the number of, so what we need to do is that first we need to find the moles of nitrogen oxide and oxygen with the help of the moles of magnesium nitrate. So what are we going to do is MgNO3 and compare it with NO2, okay? So there were 2 moles of magnesium nitrate and 4 of NO2, and we know that there were 0.1 moles of magnesium nitrate, and we need to find the moles of nitrogen oxide. So we will cross multiply, and 2x into 4 into 0.1 is and x is equal to 4 into 0.1 by 2 is going to give us the number of moles of nitrogen oxide, and it would be 0.2 moles. Once we have the moles, we can easily find the volume by using our formula moles is equal to volume by molar volume. And as the answers are in decimeter cubes, so we know that the value for the molar volume that we are going to be using is 24 decimeter. So we have moles that are 0.2. We need to find the volume, and this is going to be 24. So this is going to give us an answer of 4.8 decimeter cubes of NO2. Now the second thing that we need to do is we need to find the volume of oxygen. So how are we going to do it? We know that there were of moles of MgNO3 and 1 of oxygen, and 0.1 of this, and we don't know this. The cross multiply is going to give us x is equal to 0.1 over 2, and this is going to give us a volume of 0.05 moles. So now once we have the moles of oxygen, we can easily find its volume by moles is equal to volume by molar volume. So moles were 0.05 and volume was this, and this molar volume ki value 24 decimeter cubes we are going to use. So this gives us the volume to be 1.2 decimeter cubes. And since it hasn't specified volume of which gas, so we are going to combine both the volumes to give an answer that which volume of gas was produced when 0.1 moles of magnesium nitrate decomposed completely. So NO2 की volume plus O2 की volume. NO2 की volume was 4.8 decimeter cubes, and for this we have 1.2 decimeter cubes. So this is going to give us a value of 6 decimeter cubes. So 6 decimeter cubes worth of gas was produced after magnesium nitrate was decomposed completely. ठीक हो गया? Okay, question number 20. Phosphorus reacts with oxygen to form phosphorus 3 oxide as shown. Which mass of phosphorus 3 oxide is produced from 6.2 grams of phosphorus? Okay, so we have the mass of phosphorus, and we need to find the moles of phosphorus from that, and then we are going to find the mass of phosphorus 3 oxide with that. So first thing is first, we need to find the moles of phosphorus. Okay, so that is mass over mr. Okay, so the mass over here is 6.2 and mr for phosphorus is 31. So that gives us 0.2. ठीक हो गया? Once we have the moles, we are now going to find the moles for phosphorus 3 oxide. Just compare the both of these. ठीक है? 4 of phosphorus were there and 2 of phosphorus oxide were there. 0.2 of phosphorus were there. So X is going to be for phosphorus oxide. So this is going to give us 0.1. Okay, you can cross multiply and then you are going to get 0.1 moles after the calculations. So now we have the moles of phosphorus 3 oxide. So we can easily find its mass by our same old formula. Mole is equal to mass over mr. So moles are 0.1, mass we need to find, and mr for phosphorus oxide is 110. So 110 multiplied by 0.1 is going to give us the mass of 10 grams. So 6.2 grams of phosphorus reacts with oxygen to produce 10 grams of phosphorus 3 oxide. ठीक हो गया? So it's going to be rounded off to, I think 11 ही बन रहा है. There was some issue with my calculator. So I've calculated it again to be 11 grams. Moving on to question number 21. Calcium carbonate is heated. Calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gases are formed. The equation for the reaction is shown. 225 kg of calcium carbonate is heated until there is no further change in mass. Like all of it must have been used in the reaction. The yield of calcium oxide is 85 kg. What is the percentage yield? Okay. Now they've given us the mass of calcium carbonate. This was heated to produce calcium oxide and calcium dioxide. And the yield which was actually produced was 85 kg. Okay. Now if we have percentage yield with us, so what we need to do is that we need to find the theoretical yield as well. That when the reaction took place and every condition was perfect and all, so what was the yield then? Okay, because the formula for percentage yield is actual yield, which is in this case 85 grams by theoretical yield. Into 100. ठीक हो क्या? So how can we find the actual yield? Theoretical yield. We need to find, we have the mass of calcium carbonate. So we need to find the moles of calcium carbonate and then the moles of calcium oxide. And then from there we will find our theoretical yield. So first thing is first, we need to find the moles of CaCO3. So what we are going to do is we are going to use its mass and then its MR. MR for CaCO3 is 100. So the mass is 225 kgs. I think what we need to do is that we should convert minute. So the mass over here is given in kgs. You can convert it into grams, or you don't even need to, because the actual yield is also in kgs. But let's convert it into grams. Not a big deal. 225. And we are going to write 1000 because we've convert this kg into grams. By MR of this is 100. So this is going to give us 2250 moles. Okay? From this we can find the moles of calcium oxide. And since they are calcium carbonate and calcium oxide are in the ratio of 1:1, so the moles of calcium carbonate and moles of calcium oxide produced would be the same. So now we need to find the mass of the theoretical mass of calcium oxide from that. Moles is equal to mass over MR. Okay, moles we have 2250. Mass we need to find, and MR for CaO is 56. So after multiplying 56 with 2250, we have a mass of 126,000 grams. But since the actual yield is in kgs, so we can convert it to kgs as well, and this is going to be 126 kgs. You can convert, you cannot convert. I'm just doing it because most of the questions require us to, so I've converted it. Okay? So now we have our actual yield and we have our theoretical yield as well. So theoretically, we have 126 kgs that were produced from decomposition of 225 kgs of calcium carbonate, but the actual yield that was produced was 85 kgs because there must have been losses, and since carbon dioxide was also produced in the reaction. No reaction is 100% efficient. So after multiplying 85 with 100 and dividing it with 126, we have a percentage yield of 67.4%. Okay? So C is going to be our correct answer for it. Okay, I hope you understood the question. So this brings us to the end of part 1 of our video of the topic mole Avogadro number. So see you in the next video for the rest of the questions. Kindly like and subscribe the channel, and if you found something helpful in this video, kindly remember me in your prayers. Take care of yourselves. See you in part 2. Allah Hafiz.